Members of the Demon Slayer Corps fight using breathing styles, sword movements that mimic natural elements, animals, or even metaphysical concepts like love. They're all derived from sun breathing, but they vary significantly and are based on the capabilities of those using them, which is the best breathing style. Sun breathing is typically described as the strongest, but it's harder to classify the others. Is Shinobu's insect breathing the best because it bypasses the need for physical strength? Is water breathing the best because it's the easiest for beginners to learn? That's up to you. As you read, keep in mind that this list will contain some manga spoilers. 14. Beast breathing.
Beast breathing.
Although it's loosely derived from wind breathing, Inosuke taught himself beast breathing with little to no influence from the world of humans. Instead, he took his cues from the animals he spent his time with. He starts by visualizing himself with claws, fangs, and other animalistic traits, and then moves in an unpredictable, beast-like way. He also relies heavily on his advanced sense of touch, mimicking an animal's advanced senses. 13. Sound breathing. Sound breathing is Tenjin Uzui's personal creation.
Sound breathing. 5th form.
He has an exceptional sense of hearing, so it was a natural choice. By using a technique he calls musical score, he is able to thoroughly analyze the sounds generated by his opponent's movements, allowing him to anticipate his opponent's next move. This not only helps him avoid attacks, it also helps him figure out his foe's weaknesses and openings so that he can take advantage of them. His breathing style is used in conjunction with 2 giant nunchucks, which is fitting for his ninja background. 12. Flower breathing. Flower breathing, which is derived from water breathing, was used by both Kane Kocho and Kaneo Tsuyuri. It focuses on graceful, agile movements that utilize images of plants, flowers, and fruits. Speed is its major strength, but there's also one move, final form, Equinoctial Vermilion Eye, that lets the user enhance their kinetic vision to the absolute maximum. This has to be used sparingly, though, because it places a huge burden on the eyes and can result in burst blood vessels and even blindness. 11. Insect breathing. Shinobu Kocho isn't physically strong enough to behead a demon, but she makes up for it with insect breathing. Using insect breathing, she inflicts multiple rapid cuts on her target's body with a needle-like sword that's been coated in wisteria-based poison. While it's unlikely that the wounds she creates will do any lasting damage, the poison more than makes up for that. 10. Serpent breathing. So far, the only person to use serpent breathing is Abanai Iguro. He uses a sword with a flexible, twisted blade that resembles an Indonesian kris. He moves the blade in an unpredictable serpent-like pattern, which means he doesn't attack directly. Instead, he strikes from seemingly random directions that are nearly impossible to predict. Serpent breathing was derived from water breathing, which makes sense given the movement of the blade. 9. Wind breathing. Wind breathing is a less powerful offshoot of sun breathing. It involves quick, rotating movements that mimic whirlwinds, or harnesses the air to create sickle-shaped attacks. To perform these moves, the user often spends some time visualizing themselves creating and manipulating the wind. The techniques used in wind breathing are reminiscent of a real-world martial art called Jigenryu. 8. Love breathing. Mitsuri Kanroji didn't just create love breathing, she's the only person who can use it. When she was learning flame breathing from Kaijuro Rengoku, she altered it to utilize her unique physique. Mitsuri has exceptionally dense muscles, and is also unusually flexible. Love breathing takes advantage of these characteristics to deliver a barrage of powerful hits. Instead of a regular katana, she uses one that moves like a whip. 7. Mist breathing. Using mist breathing, Michiro Tokito is able to obscure his attacks so that his opponents can't see where he's coming from. The swift motion of his sword creates a sort of blurred effect. In order to amplify this, he also wears baggy clothing that hides the exact position of his body. At its most powerful, the illusory mist can cover not just Michiro's body, but an entire area. When this happens, Michiro appears to be moving very slowly, but in reality is moving at a rapid clip. 6. Flame breathing. Flame breathing is one of the oldest breathing styles. Originally derived from sun breathing, it has been passed on through the Rengoku family for multiple generations. Sadly, the succession ended when Kaijuro Rengoku lost his life in the battle against Akaza. The moveset involves the user visualizing themselves creating and controlling flames, then attacking rapidly from a high stance. The slicing movement from the sword is said to burn any target unlucky enough to get in its way. 5. Thunder breathing. Thunder breathing might be more accurately called lightning breathing, because it involves moving at rapid speeds intended to imitate lightning. To accomplish this, the user channels most of their energy into their legs, allowing them to run much faster than they normally can. Thunder breathing is so much like lightning itself that it literally causes the air around the user to vibrate, and creates thunder-like noises. Because of his anxiety, Zenitsu is only able to fully utilize thunder breathing when he's unconscious. 4. Stone breathing. Stone breathing is an offshoot of sun breathing that was originally created as a personalized technique for one of Yoriichi Tsujikuni's students. It not only mimics the movements of earth and stone, it also literally involves the environment around the user. Gyomai Himejima uses a flail and axe for these techniques, but the original user had a gigantic Kusarigama, indicating that more than one type of weapon can be used. 3. Moon breathing. Most people in the Demon Slayer world don't know about moon breathing. Why? Because it's used by Michikatsu Tsujikuni, a former Demon Slayer who defected from the group. Became a demon named Kokoshibo, and defected to join Musen Kibutsuji. Originally, Michikatsu tried to imitate his twin brother's sun breathing, but was unable to do so. Instead, he created moon breathing, which involves swinging a sword in crescent-like arcs. Because he's been alive for so long, he's been able to create 16 different variations of moon breathing, as well as combine it with his blood demon art, making him a terrifying foe. 2. Water breathing. Water breathing is the most commonly used breathing technique amongst demon slayers, likely because it's the easiest to learn. It's the first breathing style that Tanjiro learns from Urokodaki when he starts training as a demon slayer. It involves moving one sword in a flowing motion that resembles water. However, it's not always tranquil. Some of its forms involve powerful blasts of water-like energy slamming into a target. It also offers a remarkably effective defense at its highest form. Water Hashira Jutomioka is able to use 11th form, Dead Calm, to totally block all attacks using quick movements from his sword. 1. Sun breathing. Sun breathing is the first breathing style ever created. Initially, it was created by Yoriichi Tsujikuni, who taught it to Sumiyoshi Kamadu, one of Tanjiro's ancestors. Sumiyoshi passed it on through the generations of his family. While Tanjiro had never been explicitly taught how to use it, he did remember watching his father use it, and was eventually able to figure it out himself during battle. His version of it was called Hanakami Kagura. It is an incredibly versatile set of moves that are intended to mimic a solar flare. In fact, it's so versatile that every single other breathing technique is derived from it. Some moves involve spinning leaps, others involve thrusting attacks, and more.